we were on a Hobie photo shoot recently, and I was fishing the A-rig on the Salty, and was catching calicos, and I hooked this calico, and all of a sudden something changed, like something big took it, and I ended up being like a 50, 60 pound black sea bass.
Oh, ate your calico?
I think it tried
it
but
took it from the calico.
Ended up getting hooked on the rig.
Gotcha.
And it had one of the baits in his mouth, so he ate the rig, but it was pulling drag on the 150. I mean, it was screaming.
Did you land it?
Oh yeah, got it both sides. Kayak. I actually pulled it completely out of the water so I could unhook it properly because it had a couple hooks on its side, and I pulled it out of the water, and the people, they were in like the support boat taking pictures. They were tripping, bro. Oh my god,
on a kayak.
It was.
I can't believe with how often I'm at the wall that I haven't accidentally got a black sea bass yet.
Right?
Yeah. I can't.
Did you get a weight on the black sea bass?
Didn't actually
eyeball,
but we guesstimated in that like 50-pound range. Yeah.
That's fun.
Those photos will be coming out when the new kayaks come out. It's for like the whole new line of kayaks. And
nice.
The whole kicker crew was out there. It was sick. Lane, Ninja Cowboy, Randy, Afran, and I. We all got to test the new Hobies. So.
What have they done different?
Just some like mild cosmetic stuff, new colors.
Are we live right now?
Dude, Daniel, you're not sick. We're live, guys. Yes, we are. But I mean, you guys were talking. It was a great story.
I hope none of that was top secret.
But yeah. Oh, that's actually a good point. Hopefully none of that was top secret. Yeah, you're right. Well, welcome back, everybody, to a wonderful Tuesday evening, episode 50. We got Sky. We have Sky from Kicker Fishing right now. Super excited. We're going to talk everything fishing right now. The story of Kicker, how Sky kind of got into there, but also just anything for the future. There's a lot of big things coming, which is exciting. We want to talk about that, but, most of all, just spread the stoke and motivate someone to go fishing, after this, tomorrow, and every day, to come.
Yeah.
But without further ado, avid fisherman, entrepreneur, rock star.
Oh, God.
And everything else you guys want to call him.
That's the intros you get here at Time on the Water, Beyond the Rod and Reel. Woo! Just saying. But Sky, welcome, man. Like Daniel said, we're stoked that you're on with us, man. We're gonna talk fishing because that's what we do here. We talk fishing and everything. What's happening in the community. So we're gonna start with that, right? Luke, you got anything coming up you want to say? Tackle meet.
Yeah, we got tackle meet coming up. If you guys want to come out to tackle meet, I'll have shirts. Daniel's gonna have baits. Waterman's Collective is going to be there. He's going to have rods. Tackle Supply is going to be there. They're going to have gear. Salty Bastards is going to be there, shirts and hats. Sure, I'm forgetting some people, but it's going to be a scene. Even if you don't want to buy stuff, come hang out.
Sky, anything happening this weekend or fishing or?
The weather is looking a little funky this weekend, but I think we're going to try to make something happen. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Fish-O magazine.
Yeah, we're meeting up with him this week.
Yeah, Nick's in town right now, so we were gonna try to meet up with him this weekend also.
Nice.
So yeah.
So right now I'm trying to work on Nick's itinerary. I'm picking him up tomorrow from the airport, so okay. I'm glad to know that you're on the list because now I got to try and fit like. All right, who am I dropping Nick off to? Where is he going to on Friday? Oh, nice. Who's going to be doing this? Sick. So I'm laughing about that. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
I got the magazine right there.
Yes.
Oh, is he here? Oh, it's hilarious. But yeah, I called up Jordan, Mangled and Tangled. I think we're going to try and hang out with him like Friday a little bit. And then I know there was talk of going hanging out with Tom Troop and maybe Cash. So there's a lot of stuff that could possibly happen. I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm going to try and do my best to be a chauffeur and a Leon Zay of LAX.
Helping them out. But yeah, guys,
we're all like 10 minutes away from LAX.
Right.
where are you guys located at, Sky?
The Kicker HQ's in Santa Ana, and I'm down in my spot right here in Tustin. But I kind of go back and forth from Orange County to LA. I have a spot.
Oh, so you're like in the middle of everything, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Nice. Well, guys, I got these canvases that came in today. These will be available at the tackle meet. Luke's going to take them for me. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to go up to the tackle meet, but I'm pretty stoked to share these with you guys. And look out for them. There's 2. I only printed 2. So this is the second one. You know, I put my little twist, my little animated twist in it. They're all a mesh of everything. So keep a lookout for those. But yeah, Daniel, anything from you?
Oh, I'm pouring up a bunch of baits right now. I'll display them a little bit later. I've done 5 colors of craws and dragon tails to kind of promote at the show, tackle meet specifically. So I'm excited about that. Just something fun. I haven't poured too many in the past, so this is going to be somewhat of a debut, but not necessarily. But I'm excited. All the same.
Cool.
Got the hot colors.
So you got Lane in here
down.
saying, "What's up, Sky?" Lane's in here saying, "What's up, Matt?"
Yo, what up? What up, Lane?
Let's talk fishing. You said you went to the island recently?
Yeah. Gone a couple of times recently. This last trip, we were out there with Lane. Lane was out there with his pops. We met out on the front side there, and ended up doing pretty good on they did pretty good on some yellowtail. Called us over. We couldn't really figure it out, so we just ended up going bass fishing. Had a decent day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Matt's over here saying he witnessed you catching that orange that golden cabria.
Yes.
5 of them in one day.
5?
Yeah. We found the spot. We found the honey hole. We called it Golden Alley. It just
Nice.
Yeah, we were making casts and seen one come up, a gold one flash on the jig, and it didn't take it, but we're like, oh my god, a golden, you actually saw it. And then a few casts later, Randy and I were both hooking them, we caught like 5 out of this one little zone, and that one really nice one made the cover of PCS.
That was a nice one for sure.
Yeah.
Was that on the jig, or what were you guys fishing?
Yeah, that was the all surface iron stuff for that trip, and that was on a 25 light Valley Sunrise. Yeah.
I know a lot of people fish jerkbaits for them, but the iron's got to be perfect. I mean, how did those hold up?
The what now?
The iron.
How did the irons hold up?
Oh yeah, they held up great. The single hook is definitely, better when they're eating it good. You want to get away with less hooks, I would say. Mm-hmm. But the jerkbaits work well because you can stall them, and those fish, as aggressive as they are, they can actually be really finicky and weary, just like any kind of bass style fishing, So that jerkbait has its place, on that long pause where you stall it and give them a lot of time.
Yeah.
But when they're chomping and it's full speed, just chucking the iron is the way to go. Just steady wind, Steady wind. And we were getting them on the PK a lot too, actually, this last trip. I was putting some of the beast hooks and the neck breakers to the test with those fish, and they held up fine. Afran's 1 ounce neck breaker with the PK5. And you just burn it. You made it
through all the trigger fish?
Yeah. That's the thing. You had to burn it full speed, to keep it on the surface, keep it away from the trigger fish and the puffer fish, because they'll take chunks out of the baits. But
Daniel's got some 2-ounce beast hooks coming out that I'm going to be taking down to Mexico.
Oh, nice.
To throw on some big, 9 and 12-inch baits.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
so I could just burn them full speed and keep them down.
Really, definitely.
It's going to be fun.
That must be insane, burning and then getting hit by something that aggressive.
Oh, dude, the bites are insane too. It's just like they're rod ripping, like if you're not footed well, you'll fall down, and if you're not holding your rod, you'll be like gnarly. I've been taken down to my knees by those fish.
Dude.
I got the bite and I kind of like misstepped, and it loaded on, dude, and it pulled, and it pulled me to my knees. Like they're gnarly fish. Yeah.
Now, are you also button
ready,
down
man.
drag?
Yeah, we are, because the structure they live in, the rocks, once they get back into their home, you don't stand like any chance at all.
Yeah, I mean, when you're buttoned down like that, it's really you and that fish.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of bigger fish, we like to have that drag, wear them out, pull, wind back in, pull, wind back in. But this is like you just gotta absolutely just keep getting them in.
Button drags, really stiff rods, so you feel every head shake and pull. Everything's violent, but you have to. We're using 100-pound titanium wire leaders.
You're putting wire leader on too, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah, because they get you down in the rocks. Instantly, like they'll eat it on the surface, but I mean, before you can take one crank, they're already back down 10 feet down in their cage,
in the water.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna be one of them guys like in the videos when they're bowling and they fly off with the bowling ball as well.
Yeah, dude, it's insane. Like that one that Matt caught, the 22-pounder he caught on that trip. Like you don't catch those ones on rod and reel by hand because they're just so strong. They get back into their home. You don't see those ones a lot caught not trolling or not speared or something. So that that's an amazing fish. Like anything in the high teens or 20s is like that's
so they've got that same thing that Calico have, where they just like, there's the structure, I'm getting into it, good luck stopping me.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
What percentage you feel like you're getting rocked? Is it not often?
Well, it's always like you'll make like those one casts where you cast kind of too far, and you're coming over a rock and you're like, man, I'm
gonna get hit.
Don't get bit off of that rock, and you get bit, and like you're losing that fish.
Yeah, you're like, I'm already in the wrong spot.
Yeah, you have to like almost like choke your casts in and not cast too far, because if you hook one on a long cast,
good luck.
If it's not in deep open water, which you can get them in. They'll be chasing bait out over open water or something, and you can get a big one like that and still play it.
Now, not to downplay cabria.
Right.
You see that with spotties too, though.
Oh,
like I've made long pitches, and I've realized it was a mistake because I got hit at the very end of my cast, and they're just going whoop. They run straight towards you into a rock, and you're like, like that was a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, pound for pound, I feel like if spotties got the size of cabria, it would be the same fish. You know what I mean? Like they're just as mean and violent, bro. I swear, it's like they're just.
Well, one thing to consider too is that like we think of spotties, calicos, and sand bass as bass, but they're really a grouper derivative, and they act like grouper.
Totally.
But just on steroids.
Well, no, but I mean, like spotties, calicos, and sand bass are basically small grouper.
Yeah, totally. Black sea bass too. They are grouper.
Well, the black sea bass is a large grouper.
Yeah, a large grouper.
Yeah, that's insane.
I think I read somewhere, I don't remember where, but they called them black sea bass to market them.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Like, because the black sea bass sounds delicious.
I don't know. Grouper sounds pretty good too.
Yeah, but I'm talking about back in the day whenever they did it.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Hey, Matt said
they did weird stuff for marketing. What?
Hey, pin Matt's
Yeah.
comment. Totally derailed the conversation for cabria.
So Charlie, Daniel, do you guys get any fishing in this weekend?
Dude, we
sure,
went
you
out.
can answer first.
Yeah, we went out on Friday with Nick, SoCal Fishing Squad. It was a tough bite, man. We had a high tide. It was like 6 or 7, and we thought we were gonna, there was a lot of fish for sure, but a lot of short strikes. Nothing crazy. I caught one at the end, and that made my day. A grass bass with one of its custom jigs. It was like it's in a gold and black and orange color. He calls it the All Saints with a 702 crawl from Sudden Impact, and that did the ticket.
Dude, the 702 craw has been killing it.
Yeah, people some shops need to order that craw because I'm running low on what I got.
And you're buying them, aren't you?
No, I got the ones he sent us for glizzies, and that's it.
What about you, Daniel?
No one's buying them.
What about you, Luke?
Yeah, I went fishing this weekend.
Luke's also running a charter. Yeah.
Yeah.
He fishes every weekend.
We went out Friday. I went out with Grant from Waterman's Collective and Jesse from Loss Prevention. We actually filmed a YouTube video, so that'll be coming out. It was a pretty full speed night, pretty nonstop. Even like the lulls, there were still fish being caught. But we went out again on Saturday with Greg and Ronnie. And it ended up also being an epic night. I got a new PB, which doesn't happen very often. So I finally broke the 9-pound curse and got my 10-pounder.
Wow, congrats.
So
on the craziest looking sand bass.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll have to put up some pictures so you guys can see on Instagram, but this bass is just not it's not shaped like a bass. It's just actually it looks kind of like that fluke.
It was probably a big
head and belly, and then a really thin tail. But you're right. It probably is spawned out.
But if that fish would have been gorged, that 12 pounds for sure.
Yeah,
I regret not measuring it because I might have hit 30.
Wow.
Because I remember we measured. My buddy had a 5-pound sand bass, and I think we measured it at 24. And this was just so much longer than that.
Crazy.
And I put it back in the water. One of the guys in the boat, he's like, "So how long was that?" And I'm like, "I didn't measure it." He goes, "You have 3 measuring," because I got 2 measuring boards on the side and one on the back. He's like, "You got 3 measuring boards." I was like, "Dude, not only that, I was standing in front of the measuring board when I released it."
Dude, when that stuff happens, it's like it's hard to process.
You're so stoked.
Like I was still like shaking.
Yeah, you're so stoked. You're not worried about measuring it or.
I was calling out. I was like, "Eric, get the net. I got a black sea bass."
Wait, he won't measure it, but he for sure weighed it. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. What about you, Daniel?
No, I've been pouring baits lately. I haven't really been doing much fishing. I'm trying to think
footage.
Yeah, that's how it is. I have I have so many different catches because I'm an amazing fisherman. You know how it is. I catch so many fish, but I do maybe like an hour here and an hour there, but it's not like I really do like a real session at all. So it's like it's hard for me to be like, oh yeah, I've been fishing a lot. It's like no, like I did an hour to kill time, like Thursday or something. I don't know, maybe Monday. I did an hour to kill time. Beautiful, fun. I got 1 bite and then I broke off. So nothing serious.
Fish while you're walking the dogs.
Yeah.
I gotta still train my dog a little bit more. I do, but the hard part is when I make long casts, the sound from the reel and the swish and all that stuff kind of scares my dog a little bit. So I still got to train her with just walking around with the rod but also kind of just making small casts into long casts, just getting normalized with fishing and rod behavior kind of thing. So, small steps.
I can't wait for you to document it on YouTube.
Well, I was actually just talking to my wife. I was like, shoot, like the best way to go viral is to put your dog.
For how to train their dog while they fish. You'd be surprised.
Well, not even that. I was like, if I can catch a spotty while I'm walking my dog and then film it, that's going to go viral. Everybody loves dogs. Are you kidding? That's like the easiest way.
Hey, you're talking to Sky. They always got a dog on the boat.
I love it.
I'm going to tell a quick side story. So, my young pit bull, he's kind of a jerk, and
kind of.
But he's a nice dog who's not going to hurt you, but he's going to make you think he's going to hurt you because he's a jerk.
Well, I mean, unless it's Charly.
Right. So I'm going fishing with my dad. I'm taking the dog with me, and I just didn't tell him. It slipped my mind. I didn't tell him the dog was coming with us. So it's like 4 a.m. because we're running up the PV. It's dark out. My dad throws his stuff in the back, goes and sits in the car, sits back, relaxes. And he said all of a sudden there's lips touching his ear, growling. It was like, yeah, it was the scariest moment of my life. I had no idea there was a dog in the back seat. His lips are literally on my ear.
Straight Ricky Bobby episode. Straight
Driving with the fear.
Oh man. So Sky, you've been fishing somewhat?
Yeah. Yes. Trying to get out when I can, you know. Been the A-rig's been the hit, you know, A-rig, PK3. Since the release of the PK3, we've been fishing it all kinds of different ways.
Out there slaying. The 3 has been slaying.
Yeah, but the A-rig, it was cheating before, but now it's too easy.
Well, you know, it's funny because a lot of people refer to it as cheating, and I always say, like, if it's cheating, go put one on and go do it.
Yeah.
Because you got to learn it, right?
Right.
And last year I was putting a lot of time on the A-rig, and I was killing it. I even like doubled up on stripers in the marina, which was epic.
Yeah.
This year I haven't fished it a lot, and I was throwing it around the other day, and it was like, oh yeah, I've kind of lost it a little. I gotta put some time in on this again because I've lost my cadence.
Yeah.
I hadn't fished it in 6 months.
Right.
So what's your let's talk about that. That's interesting. Let's talk about that. You fish the A-rig a lot?
Yes.
What's your style of fishing the A-rig?
Well, it's even before we go there. How are you weighting it? Because I've started. I have a lighter and a medium and a heavy.
Right.
What do you like to use?
When it comes to A-rigs, it's no different than like a swim bait or even like a crankbait. Like there's so many different ones for the different scenarios. It may look just like a big chandelier baits with weight, but changing the heads, using it with blades or without, and changing the body sizes, all these things, you know.
And 3-head versus 5-head.
Yeah, or running it weedless or not weedless for different reasons, you know. So there's so many ways to do it now. With the neck breaker, it allows you to run it weedless, and you can fish it tight to the bottom with less worries of breaking off. Or
that's my next move for the wall, is to make that weedless couple of those weedless neck breakers,
or roll it through the kelp and, you know, not get so snagged up. But like I prefer the fixed hook, you know, just a regular jig head. Anytime I can get away with that, I'm using that, because the way they eat the A-rig, they come up and they just swipe and they clamp onto it, and so
yeah.
So you feel like you get a better set out of it?
You don't get that chance to pause and set the hook like you need to with a weedless hook.
Yeah.
You know, but although they still latch on and they still grab that thing and get hooked all day. But I like the exposed hook when I can get away with it for that reason, because you're hooking way more. Even if they're smaller fish, I don't care. I think like the smaller ones come on first, but having tension where they're still on that bait, it attracts the other big fish to come up. You know, so usually every time you catch a fish, there's a bigger one following it. It's, you know, it's very like calico fishing, and you're fishing, you have a lot of followers. You bring a fish in on a swim bait, there's usually a couple fish with it, and there's gonna be one that's probably bigger than it. And A-rig is great for that, because you hook that first fish that grabs it and that second fish, and that that big fish is just looking at it, and it entices.
Dude, you
them.
guys, I mean, I've seen videos with you guys loaded an A-rig with calico.
Yep.
Didn't Lang just get like 4 or something?
He did, and it was like
you guys are wild.
18 pounds in one cast. I mean that's like winning some tournaments, you know.
Yeah, just pulling up a spare tire at that point.
You're right.
It's just huge.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it does at that point sometimes feels just like you don't even know what you have. It's just a bunch of weight thrashing. But
now I heard that Kicker has their own A-rig. Is that true, or am I misspeaking?
Yeah, it's actually one that I built by hand. It's just we call it the PK rig, but it's just a three arm rig with one little center arm with a blade on it. So it's a little like a little more finesse, I guess, but it's a heavy wire, but just less baits. We kind of did it because the tournaments now are like requiring less and less hooks and baits and stuff. And we also wanted a rig that was a little more weedless, that we could run the PK just totally weedless hook, like beast hook, or the PK like neck breaker, and still be able to feather it through the kelp a little more, you know, just a little something different.
Now, have you tried the PK9 on an A-rig, like just 5 of them, just ginormous 9-inch baits, just ripping through the kelp?
That's how he got those 5 Goldens.
I haven't tried.
Yeah, all of it.
Lane's dad actually rigged one up and took a photo of it and sent it to me.
You got to cast that on a broomstick.
Randy's done the 7s though. Randy's fished 3 7s on the PK rig, and he caught yellowtail like that. So big baits on there works.
If you're not throwing big baits like 9-inch baits, you don't realize how much weight that is in plastic.
Right.
That's a 5 9-inch baits is a lot of weight in plastic before you even account for the rig.
Dude, can you imagine trying to cast that?
Yeah, you need the full rod.
Well, just like casting
at that point, it's just a trolling rig.
I had to get a whole rod just for that.
Yeah, I mean with the PK rig and the 3 baits, it's not so bad keeping it up without lead heads and stuff, like all beast wise. It's a lot, but it's not too bad. You know,
it's still doable.
Yeah, 300
hey, that
size reel.
So that's when you guys set that up.
What's that?
Jack, what's up?
I said, what are you putting on there? The 5s on the 3 rig?
Yeah, 5s, mostly. Rigging it underspins, give it some more flash. If you want more flash, I'll put underspins on it.
Or, I like that.
If I want it weedless, breaker.
Here's an idea for you guys when you guys go back down to Mexico, looking for marlin and all that stuff. I want to see 5 of the PK9s on an A-rig, and you guys just troll it. Just for like marlin, high-speed trolling with that.
In Matt's last comment, he just said that.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly where I was going with it. That would be it will work. That's basically a marlin rig in general, but hey, I want to see it though. Especially with your guys' videography capabilities. I know however it's done, you guys are going to film it beautifully, and I want to watch it. That's what I want to do.
Okay. Marlin.
He's like, on my radar.
Actually, on a recent trip I wasn't on, actually, it was just Ira Waldman and Randy. They went to the island fishing bass, and they see some mackerel going off or something, or Ira hooks a mackerel or something, and look over, and I was like, they sees a fin. He's like, dude, that was a marlin, or a big splash. He's like, that was a marlin. And he cast his mackerel out that's hooked on like a kicker, and he actually hooked, like the marlin ate the mackerel. And he's
that's crazy.
he fought the marlin for a little bit, and then it just came off. But yeah, just the craziest. You never know what's gonna happen. But
Dude,
So let's do real talk for a minute. When's the next movie event gonna be? You got a new movie coming out anytime soon?
it's in the we're talking about it. Yes.
Dude, we had a blast at that.
Yeah. Untamed Shallows 2 is going to happen sometime in the near future. We'll start on that.
So what was funny is after the show, Charly had some kicker stuff, and I go, "Where'd you get that?" And he goes, "Well, they were selling it." I go, "I was at that whole thing they weren't selling." He goes, "It was in that room." And I go, "Oh, I kind of thought that was like their area to chill. I didn't want to bug them."
Oh no, yeah.
dude, it was like
I didn't realize you guys were selling stuff in there.
It was like full stock.
I'd never went in there.
Yeah. A cool little last minute thing we just kind of threw together. Brought some product over. Yeah.
Well, last week we had Ira. We had Ira on, and it's fun to hear his side of the trips because he's, you know, a little bit more behind the camera.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to hear his point of view and be like, oh yeah, it's fun to catch fish, but also like have this huge envision. But then he's like, well, then we have like 800 gigabytes of footage that I have to spend 3 weeks going through.
Rough. Yeah.
So who's editing the video? Are you editing videos too?
Yeah, Randy and I sat down through the whole process of editing Untamed Shallows. I was right by his side the whole time as he clicked, and we sat there and both were like feeding off each other ideas, and you know,
dude, that's
all stuff that we've seen from other, you know, like early radio silent stuff and skate videos and stuff like that. We kind of grew up watching, you know, and try to bring some of that vibe over. You know what I mean?
You know what? Now that I like that. I like that whole stuff where you guys do the filming and then you guys do the fast clips, like
yeah.
That's kind of like skateboarding vibes.
Yeah, some of the fast cuts and stuff like that.
Pretty dope, man. Yeah, you guys that event was pretty cool, man. The video was sick, you know.
Heck
I think it made everybody hype because it made us hype, you know. So
it's like literally the next day, me and Charly were planning out our next trip, and we were also going back and forth online looking for underwater domes. And like literally, I think it was that next Saturday we were on a trip with a new underwater camera.
Yeah.
And it was like, all right, let's do this.
I saw.
Normally we're structure.
I could see after Untamed Shallows, I saw some of the stuff you put out. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I made a post too when we put the first video out. I was like, I watched Untamed Shallows and had to go film.
Yeah. No, I remember I seen that.
Nah, dude, that was a cool event. A lot of cool people, you know. So stoked for the next one, man.
Yeah, we're super stoked. We're probably trying to do it around that similar time, kind of like that December, January, kind of when fishing's not so hot, but people still want to talk and see it.
Well, and you know what's funny about that, right? I was recently having this conversation, and during the summer, there's yellowtail, there's tuna, there's all this stuff. During the winter, calico's all we got, so everyone's like pumped on calico. Like if you're fishing in December, you're calico fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's like calico's its own kind of drug.
Yeah.
But Luke, I mean, you've mentioned it before, where calico's its own kind of drug. It's like there's a lot of people that are like, yeah, you know, I've bluefin fished, I've yellowtail fished, you know, I've done this and this, but coming back to that calico bite is just something, you know, there's just that appeal that just keeps
very euphoric. You know, smaller, big, man, those fish are fun to catch, man.
Yeah.
Like
I'm not gonna lie, like my handle on there, Catch Bass, is that for a reason, you know, because that's the kind of fish I like to catch. Like there are yellowtails going right, tuna foaming right now, and to be honest, I could care less. Like I like catching them. I do like catching them, but I don't like targeting them.
You know,
I mean, you know, if like we came across a foamer tuna on the way home and we casted in it and they bit, I like that. But I don't like searching around all day trying to get a bite. And same with the yellowtail. Like, unless you got bait on the boat and you can chum them up right next to your boat, like, fishing the iron is a grind. And if they're not eating it right away, like, dude, I'm over it. I know there's bass that are backlipping over baits and they're going to eat my weedless, you know? And that's what happened the other day. To be honest, like, Lane and his dad were roping yellowtail, and there was a bunch of boats in the area, and we get in there, and we had some followers and some action, and Randy really wanted a yellowtail, man, and I did too, but I think he could just see the look in my eye, like, you know, and I'm just like, okay, we're gonna go bass fishing now, you know.
Well, so it's one of those things, like, and I think we're kind of saying the same thing here. It's like, I like bass style fishing.
Yeah. Right?
And I like high speed bass style fishing. I'll slow down sometimes too, right? I'm not saying I won't slow down, but if I'm gonna go out for tuna, I want it to fish tuna bass style. I want to be chasing foamers. I want to be hunting. I don't want to be soaking a live bait. So I'm like, any type of fishing where I can be casting is what I want to do.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, I love all kinds of fishing. I love catching all kinds of fish on artificials, you know. There's not a kind that I wouldn't want to or don't like to, but if I have a choice, I'm going for the bass every time. And, you know, and like I said, unless it's a bycatch, like, you know, we're fishing bass a lot and yellows come through. And like, we get those chances all the time. Like, I don't need to go spend a day just looking for that when it's like not as productive for me. You know? Yeah. Spend a lot of time prepping and driving all the way out there. Like, damn, I want to catch some fish. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you 100%.
The harder part is for the people who have to chase them on cattle boats that can only go 10 knots. Yeah. And you're like, oh, well, there's a foamer half a mile. We might get there in time.
By the time you get there, they're gone.
Well, no, by the time you get there, they're like, all right, guys, that was a great trip. We got to start heading back where we're going to, like, be late. And you're like, late for what? We didn't catch anything. So, it, you know, that could be a very turn off, too.
He went there.
I mean, I've been on a lot of cattle boats. And, I mean, watching them foam is a ton of fun. Yeah. I've seen foamers, like, all sizes. The boat's screaming. Everybody's going crazy. You know, don't go to that foamer. It's got 200-pounders. That foamer's got 30s. Head over there. You know, they're blowing the horn. Everybody, you know, morale's up. Adrenaline's up. And then you come back like, wow, that was a really great trip. But I don't think we actually caught anything.
We just saw them.
Yeah, you know, it was a great whale watching trip.
So I really want to get into how did Kicker start with you and Randy?
Well, I was kind of just a part of the crew, you know, hanging out with Justin Reynolds a lot. We skate and we fish, and then I don't know if you guys remember Ritual Angling, the rod brand, but I was kind of there for the birth of that brand. I wasn't really a owner or partner in it per se, but I was definitely there from the birth and helped with, like, we'd set up ICAST booths and we did a lot of that stuff. And so Randy and I got really close over the years, and it was him and Justin Huron were business partners in Kicker before, and Justin just had other family plans, you know. He has a family and had some other opportunities to go do some other stuff, so he backed out of Kicker, and there was an option, you know, an opportunity there for me, and so I hopped in as business partner. I think that was in like 20, I don't know, 20. It was like two PCSs ago. We did the
That's right on.
During all the stuff. And,
how long have you been doing tournaments? And have you been doing them the whole time with Randy, or, you know what I mean?
No, Randy's had all kinds of partners. He's fished with Matt Florentino. He's fished with Justin Huron and Reynolds before, and I used to fish the SWBA with my dad in those tournaments, and then that tournament series kind of fizzled out, and the SBS was the main one, and Randy and I just I don't know, I kind of forget how it all happened, but he asked me, and I'm like, yeah, let's run it, let's do SBS. Our first couple of tournaments we did really good. Actually, just show you some plaques here.
See, there they are.
Got some big bass plaques there. We got first place. Big
Nice.
Long Beach.
Dude, they keep going.
Long Beach represent, you know what I'm saying?
There you go.
So,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
How big is that?
that was like a almost 9-pounder. That was got big fish during the tournament and made the cover of Western Outdoor.
That's
You've been
awesome.
on that cover. You've been on that cover. What? How many times?
Well, I got the Western Outdoor News cover, and then I got that PCS cover with the cabria.
That's right.
Yeah, and then we were in the we got Untamed Shallows inside one of the last ones too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Cool. That was pretty cool.
So how long have you actually been tournament fishing though?
Well, let's see. 2019
So you started in 2019?
with Randy. Yeah, I've been probably 2015 with my pops, and then fishing.
First off, I'm a huge fan of like fishing with your dad because it's like I love my dad. My dad's like my best friend. I love fishing with him, so it's always fun to hear like, oh yeah, my dad and I, we just decided to start sending it and started fishing the tournaments like Tom and Cash. I love their whole story and all that.
Yeah.
So it's super fun.
They're rad.
But yeah, so I mean, you guys just because I mean, my dad and I have fished our whole entire lives.
Yeah.
He got me into trout fishing, and there's at a certain point like that, almost that threshold where you're like, oh, it could be a little bit more. You know what I mean? So did you guys both just like, all right, let's try this tournament scene out, or were you guys like, all right, we're gonna just absolutely crush?
As far me and my pops when we first started.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we fished. We were working in Mexico at the time. We were both in the studio business. We do special effects in the movies.
What?
We were working in Mexico at the time, and fish would go to San Diego on the weekends just to like sneak in and go sneak some fishing in, And we fished in Mexico a lot too, but we'd go back to San Diego just to get into some bodies and stuff. And we fished with this guy out there. Oh my God, what's his name? Shoot, James, Steve, I don't know, but we fished with him. He told us that the Open Bay Bass tournament was coming up because we did pretty good fishing with him that day. And he's like, yeah, you guys should just join the Open Bay Bass tournament. It's a tournament they do in San Diego where anyone can go just join. And we fished that. And out of like 200 boats, it placed up to 25th place. We placed like 24th. So we made the cut.
Nice.
Right on.
First tournament.
So did you guys have a boat down there, or did you rent one?
No, we had a boat. At the time, we had this little, it was a wakeboard fishing boat called.
Oh, funny.
It was a Glastron. It was like an IO. It was a total like kooky boat. But we ended up doing that, and we placed, and we just kind of got the bug, and we're like, what's up with tournament fishing? This is fun. And like the SWBA was around at the time, and we're like, well, fuck, let's sign up. Why not?
I love it.
No, and we did. We just went for it and fished with all the big dogs. Randy and Justin Huron were a team. Bobby Martinez, Jimmy Deck.
Dude,
all the legends.
That's a competitive lineup right there.
Dude.
That's intimidating.
It was
Big name.
intimidating. you watch all these guys on YouTube, and then you're like, oh my god, I'm fishing against these guys.
There they are.
They're all the coolest dudes and super, like, you know, welcoming to the sport. And so that really, doing the tournaments like that and seeing how cool and the camaraderie of the, you know, our fishery and all of our fishermen, it really fueled my stoke even more for what I'm doing now, all the calico and the stuff, you know.
And you skateboard and fish, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever do anything with like skateboarding? Like,
no, not really.
Just for fun?
Yeah, just for fun. I had like a few little flow brands when I was younger and stuff, and
nice.
Like my buddy Justin Reynolds, he works for Ace Trucks, and so I get some hookups there. And,
nice.
Yeah, we
some hookup trucks.
Yeah, you know, all kinds of stuff.
Hey, that's what it's all
I got
about.
a little skate park in my backyard, so like a
dude. No, you don't.
Yeah, it's all concrete stuff that I built. You know,
that's sick. Cool.
So we'll have all kinds of little skate jams and skate sessions still. Yeah,
that's sick, dude.
That's a ton.
Who didn't want a skate park growing up? I know I did.
Yeah, in your backyard too. My neighbors would have killed me if I had that.
We used to make like makeshift ramps, right? Like,
oh yeah,
you know. Then my buddy,
piece of plywood, 2 cinder blocks.
Dude, that's it. And then my buddy came. His parents bought him like one of those plastic, like you just put on the floor, right?
Yeah.
Dude, it was so much fun.
We used to build our own ramps in the street, and then when cars would drive by, we would have to dismantle it as fast as we could, because if they stopped, they would be so mad that there was, you know, something in the street, and they were always mad at us. It was like little ants. We would just run out and like take the plywood, take the cinder blocks, the ramp, the you know, and everything else. It was just the funniest thing.
Dude, good times though. Good times. So let's talk fishing at the wall.
Yes.
Right? Very different than fishing the island, you know?
Completely.
So
dude, last time we saw each other, we were at the wall and it was surging over the wall.
Yes. That was gnarly.
I think we were the only 2 boats left out there.
Probably.
You, because you were in a really capable boat, and me, because I'm not that smart.
Okay, so one of the things I want to ask, and I love asking this from fisherman to fisherman, because even though, you know, we might be fishing the same things, everybody fishes vastly differently. What is your setup? What is your, like, all right, this isn't going to be my starting setup to feel maybe the wall out, and then we'll go, you know, from there.
That's good.
Okay, well, we're pretty routine when it comes to this. So when we're like planning to fish the wall, we get there, you know, late afternoon. So we're there for the sundown bite, and pretty much from when we get to the wall to when the sun is going down, we're fishing a crankbait. That's just what
interesting.
So, and then once that sun goes down, and it's, you know, there's like a weird, I don't know if you've fished the wall from when it's light to when it's dark.
Yep.
Only way to do it.
Only way. Time there's a doldrum of like no bites. It seems like, or very lacking of bites, going from that like till it gets completely dark and the light really switches, you know. So like that sundown bite until it's like pretty much all the way dark, we're cranking, and then as it switches, that's when our baits are switching. The crankbaits kind of get put away, then the swim jigs come out, you know, like a 1 ounce swim jig or half ounce to 1 ounce swim jig, skirted jig with a craw or a small swim bait trailer, and we start kind of dissecting with that, and or a neck breaker. Now with the neck breakers, we can do that PK neck breaker, and those are kind of the search baits until we start patterning them, you know.
So for those that don't know what a PK neck breaker is, please break it down.
Well, the neck breaker is it's the newest head designed by War Baits, and it's a swing head style jig head, which means that it's like just a lead head. And then, oh man, where's one? It's a lead
I know.
head.
I just did the same thing. I
got
tried to
one
look
right
around
here.
to see if I had one.
So we got the lead head, and then a swivel, and then to a free swinging hook. And what that allows you to do is really put any kind of hook you want on the bait. But with the PK, with the pickle kick swim bait, it's a weedless swim bait, so we're running a weedless style hook on there to keep that hook point down. And that style bait is really good for the wall because it goes through all the sticky rocks and any kelp you may run into in the dark that you can't see. This is going to feather through it better than an exposed hook or even a swim jig with a weed guard. You know, sometimes we'll grab that stuff a little bit too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those two.
Sorry to digress. I got a quick question. Are you throwing the A rig at the wall at all? I know you were talking about the A rig and throwing and all that.
Right. The A rig is like, for me, interchangeable with the crankbait. During the light to low light bite, if the crank's not biting, the A rig may be on a little more on the outside of the wall. You know, we're fishing the crankbait fairly tight to the wall to maintain contact. You know, with a 20-foot crankbait, you want to. So it's staying in that 20-foot range, keeping it down there, parallel, and then the A rig is a little. You can fish it in the same zones, a little faster up tight, or Lane likes to fish that outside stuff like 30, 40 feet, where most of the boats are sitting, casting at the wall. If you're sitting there, if you just cast parallel from where you are there, sink that A rig all the way to the bottom. That's where the sand bass live. So. That's why Randy and I aren't usually fishing there.
The A rig.
No, fishing where the sand bass live.
But, so you're throwing 1 ounce to 1 ounce and a half.
Half ounce to 1.
Oh, half ounce.
Yeah.
Half ounce to 1 ounce. Sorry.
Yeah. Anywhere, yeah. So like 3/4 can be a really good, in between size. It just depends on the tide and the swell and surge and all that.
Yeah, 3/4 is. I think 3/4 at the wall is like the sweet for me.
Yeah, it's a good.
Like if you're only, that's my thing. If you're bringing like one lead head, a 3/4 ounce lead head.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, if you could only pick one, it'd probably be that. Because if it's too surgy, you'll still get down there eventually. Calm, it's still light enough to feather it. But that's like for me. That's with a skirt though. Because when you go to the neck breaker, the weights kind of change a little bit because it's not so slowed down by the skirt.
Yeah.
So
nice, interesting.
I feel like
too is another one we'll fish. Kind of.
You guys fish that a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
solid right there.
That's something I could maybe leak and let you know. That's something new down the pipeline that's going to be coming. I know you've seen some tailspins from us before. Those are all handmade by Vin. He makes all those by himself. Cuts the tails and screws the thing in and gets the swivels and the blades, and we package them. And so now we're gonna pretty soon have the factory be doing them for us in a few more colors and all the sizes.
Oh, nice.
That's a little something.
Right on.
You can look forward to seeing from Kicker.
Blades of glory.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of work. Like you were just talking about, to put the blade to the swivel to the twist rod, and then this and then that. Oh my gosh.
Dude.
But it's a very effective way to fish.
Yes.
I've had a couple times where I can't get them to bite slugs, and then I throw a tail spinner on the slugs, and all of a sudden they're biting.
Right. And with all this bait, summertime especially, there's tons of bait, tons of little bait, and like having that extra flash to keep your bait standing out amongst all the millions of other little flashing baits. That's all it takes sometimes is that.
Yeah.
That extra.
Is that?
Yeah, I mean,
Is that a blade color that's coming out, or it's already you guys?
No,
That's
this is a custom one I made. I don't know that we're doing senorita fish. I forget. I think we are actually. I think we're doing senorita fish with a gold blade, but this is a copper one.
Also, you guys are gonna have like pre-rigged baits already.
Yes, we're doing the tailspin as
nice.
a production made bait. Yeah, so it'll come all ready with a blade and yeah.
best tail spinner straight out of the package.
Yep, ready to
It's
go.
gonna be easy.
Matt said that looked bit. That one there looks bit.
Yeah. Oh, it's. Yeah,
And then you could even
it's chewed.
Oh, it's been bit.
you could put that on a bladed beast hook and got a double blade going.
Yeah, that's actually been a bite for us at SCI.
Yeah, they'll put on a little Colorado blade.
Yeah, the action is like completely different on obviously than than the tail. The tail sitting, tail bait sitting there wagging like that. But when you put that double blade on it, it just goes perfectly straight.
Streamline.
There's no movement, and when the water's calm and there's no movement, that's actually drawn bites for us. Where we were fishing the PK7 tail bait right next to that, getting nothing, and the double bladed little straight tracker bait was getting all the bites. So
it's funny how sometimes it doesn't matter at all, and sometimes the difference between a big kick, a small kick, and body roll and no body roll, makes 100% of the difference.
And noticing that stuff is what makes a good angler.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
There's just so much to notice.
Because they changed it up.
Yeah.
It's hard. That's why it's like calico fishing can be easy, because a lot of times they will eat anything, and you don't have to do stuff like that. And so,
but sometimes they're finicky.
Sometimes they are.
Or you just gotta antagonize them a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, like just a quick example. I went out for some fishing on Monday night. We tore them up Friday and Saturday. Monday night we went out fly fishing, and I'm like, dude, it's gonna be lit, because we'd already had, I don't know, 6 or 7 on boat by the time the sun went down.
Mm-hmm.
Sun went down. We didn't catch another fish at 10:30. I was like, we're going home.
Yeah.
And it's like, how calico's shutting down when the sun goes down. What is that? I've never seen that.
Weird.
It happens. Whatever. Calicos can get weird sometimes.
Yeah, they can.
But you still chase them though.
Oh yeah. Always.
Yeah, we still love them.
You still chase them though. You still chase them.
That's what. You never. Well, maybe you do. I don't really know about you guys, but you tend to forget about the bad days and, start leaning towards all the good days. That's how psychology works.
I'm going to tell you something. This isn't a joke. I remember all the bad days, and I remember what bit on those days. And
there you go.
It's like a little PTSD, but when I start having a bad day, I'm like, oh, well, you know what? Maybe this spot, maybe this bait.
Well, that's what Sky just said, right? You remember those things, and that's what makes you better, right? You got to fail to succeed,
not forget the bad days.
You got to fail to succeed.
All right, Luke, I expect you in tournaments next year now with that information. I didn't know you were that dialed in.
I'm not that dialed in. I just don't forget. But it'd be nice to have a job and a life where I could do tournaments. But, we got the hand that's been dealt to us.
Dude.
I know. My day job fuels all the baits behind me. So I'm appreciative of them. One day.
So what's coming next besides the tailspin, besides the movies? What's next for Sky? What's in the future? What's happening?
Just taking it, a day at a time, one fish at a time,
That's what it is, man.
That's all we can do, right?
Yeah, just trying to do the stuff that makes me happy, Nah, I'm gonna go crazy.
Yeah, that's what we can hope for, right? You know what I mean? Just
are you? You're not doing kicker full time.
No, not right now. I mean, kind of here and there,
Yeah.
Well,
some side jobs and stuff.
For sure.
Break down the storefront, because you guys are coming out with the storefront, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to gloss over the fact that all I can do is do things that make me happy. I'm going to go skate in my own private skate park real quick right now.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Right?
Kicker has taken up a lot of that fun free time though too. As I mean, we do get to go fishing a lot, but man, it's like I just said, I got back from packing, you know, a lot of. It's all good problems. It's all good problems.
Yeah.
But,
It's the problems of living a dream. Nobody realized just how much work it is to live the dream. Like people go, "Hey Daniel, how are you?" And I'm like, I'm living my dream. I'm making baits. I'm fishing them. I'm selling them. I get to have a conversation with people like you, and just this whole thing. It's a lot of work, though.
It is. A lot of
But we
work.
love it.
But I love it.
But yeah, I wouldn't change anything. That's for sure. I'm super.
100.
If living the dream was easy, everyone would be doing it.
All right.
Dude, you could say that again. But yeah, so let's talk PVs, man. We can't go without talking PVs. What's your biggest calico? Local.
No, both.
Oh, both.
Okay.
Yeah, tell us about your international calicos.
Okay. The biggest is a 9.5 from Cedros Calico, and local biggest calico on a scale. I think it was almost 9 tournament. I don't remember the exact weight, but it won big fish of that tournament that night, and also big fish of the season. So that was
nice.
that was like a high 8. And then Sam Bass somewhat recently just broke over 9 with Lane on the boat. It was pretty sick. Actually, it was a rad day. We were gonna go look around for tuna, and we just got on the boat early, stopped on the wall just for a few crankbait casts. It was wide open on the crankbait, just like 3 in a row, Sam Bass, and then I hook a 9-pounder.
On the crank?
Like, that's cool. Let's go look for tuna. And,
On the crankbait?
yeah, on a crankbait.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dude, you beat Charlie's crankbait fish.
Yeah.
I got an 8. I got an 8 on a crankbait.
Hell yeah.
Dude, that feels so sick.
So gnarly.
Almost cried.
You did cry.
I did
So
cry.
gnarly. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels good. What about cabria?
I think I have like a 15. It's honestly not that big.
It's not that big, huh? 15 is not that big.
When it
Not
comes
that
to
small.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
First.
Anything in the teens is a good one, but like that 18, 19, 20, that's the
A different beast.
mark.
Yeah.
Mark. When you
Yeah,
get
it seems
over
like 20 is what guys are trying to hit.
Yeah, if you can get over 20, like, yeah, that's you know.
That's legendary.
That's like getting a teener calico, I think. That's even
Dude.
gnarlier than getting a 10-pound calico. That's like a teener calico, you know, getting a 20-pound cabria, because just the fact of landing it more than how loose they are. It's just landing it that's the real task. Yeah.
What about your spotty?
Spotty, not that big, honestly. Like just under 3. So I haven't.
That's still a decent spotty.
Oh, it's good. It's a really good spotty, but not big.
Yeah,
it's
good, but it's not big.
No, it's not.
There are people that have bigger, that's for sure. But 2.
But that's also
the shoulder is on a 2-pound,
right?
3-pound spotty is pretty manageable. I feel like if you put in the amount of time that most of these kids are putting in, like I feel like they all have 3-pound spotties.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, I'm jealous. I see some of these kids pulling up massive fish, and I was like, man, I wish I knew how to fish a little bit better when I had more free time.
Right. Wasn't as much good YouTube as there is now.
I know. Like, the hard part is like I'm a better fisherman now, but I don't have enough time to like hone the skills that I've had, but also to apply it to where it's like, man, like I'm such a better fisherman. But
this is
I just don't have the
for having that like 3 or 4 free days a week to go to different harbors also.
Yeah.
So that you're covering more area, not just hitting the same spots.
Yeah.
Tuna?
It was fun while it lasted. I haven't been to a different harbor. Well, actually, I'm fishing Thursday at the Wall. I'm really excited for that. Actually,
if you want him, by the way.
Yeah, you know what, Charlie? You're absolutely right. And then I would not be married. That's how that works. That's how that works, Charlie.
What about like pelagics, like tuna, yellowtail?
Yeah, they're dope. I like to eat yellowtail, so I like.
What's your biggest?
The biggest, man, I never like really got weights on some of the big ones, but I've caught some 30-pound class in Cedros and locally, probably 20s, nothing that big.
Nothing crazy?
Nothing crazy, but maybe I might have like a 30 or something, or a high 20 or something. On the PK,
right on.
A pretty good one on the PK, like a few years back.
Nice.
Now, let me go kind of off topic a bit, right? Like you've been to Cedros, you've been chasing cabria.
Yep.
You got a chance to take a trip tomorrow. Which one are you doing?
One of those two, or anywhere?
Yeah,
right?
one. Well, let's do both. Which one
trip.
of those two, and then anywhere.
Okay. Well, Cedros or cabria. I don't know. I'd probably pick Cedros just because.
Over cabria, huh?
Well, I just haven't been there in a minute, and Cedros really is a magical place if you like calico fishing and yellowtail fishing. Like honestly, like that place spoiled me, and that's why it's hard for me to go yellowtail fishing in California, because it's
you're like, I want to do it that way.
The bite that's going down in the Coronados right now, the yellowtail bite that's happening at the Coronados, that's every day at Cedros.
Yeah.
So when you go there, it's like it ruins you. It ruins you calico fishing. Like you got to come back and fish like freshwater bass rods and 12-pound tests.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, they're
dude, you got some pretty big green bass too. So what's your biggest green bass?
On a scale, it's 7 3/4. So almost, But
that's a nice green bass.
I know I've caught bigger ones than that though. I just didn't have a scale. It was 22.5 inches on the measuring board, but it was so fat that it was like width-wise like tick wider than the board that way, So it was like a little.
Oh my gosh!
I'm pretty sure that fish was like high 8, but I can't say it because I didn't weigh it. But it was a football. That one I got on a 6-inch Citizen at a little local fish hall.
So I'm going to move back. Final question. You can do any trip you want. What trip are you taking tomorrow?
Sheesh. Oh, man. I don't know. That's really
What's
tough.
the dream trip?
Dream trip. I mean, dude, I'm happy with calicos, bro. I do want to do like, I mean, it's not a dream trip, but I really want to fish El Salto, and I want to catch like a 10-pound bass and not have to like.
Where's that?
Is that the place in Mexico?
Yeah.
Dude, that's like is it like really controlled? Isn't it like a controlled area?
Yeah, there's actually a couple of them now. There's like a couple lakes like that, and they're just known like trophy lakes. They grow giant, 10-pound plus largemouth, and
yeah.
I mean, that's not a dream trip. That's something that would be cool.
Is this something you dream about?
Nah, not really. I mean, I dream about just going calico fishing in our local waters maybe like some of the islands I haven't fished, like stuff like that. San
Like-
Nick, I fished for the first time not last year, and that was some of the best calico fishing ever. And it's right there. It's far, but it's not that far.
It was a couple years ago, and I was at Santa Monica shore pounding in the morning,
Right.
and I was fishing the dock, and I ran into Justin Reynolds and Randy.
Yeah.
And I said, "Hey, you guys going to hit some of those artificial reefs?" And they go, "No, we're going to St. Nick." And I was like, "What a bunch of jerks!" Like, like I'm that dumb.
Yeah.
I'm that dumb. Just say it's a secret spot or whatever.
Yeah.
And the next day I see all these photos from St. Nick, and I was like, "Oh my God, they did it."
Yeah.
I could to me it was a lie coming right out of their mouth. Like, they're not going to St. Nick. And then to see that the next day, and they've got like big old calicos on the surface iron, it was like, oh wow, they're doing it right.
Dude, it's wild fishing out there.
Hey, Daniel, do me a favor. Can you pin Tom's comment real quick?
Exactly, Matt?
Exactly, man. No, the one before that.
All right, tournament bag weight.
That LP inside was psycho.
Yeah. I think that bag, how big was that bag? I think that one was like 28 pounds.
Dude,
that was inside Long Beach?
Inside, yeah.
Woo.
So you're not allowed to fish the outside of the wall.
Mm-mm.
That's crazy.
You can fish like the mouth, like you can cast at the corner, but you can't go around the corner.
Oh,
that's a solid bag. I mean, to get 28 pounds in general is a solid bag. Yeah.
I think if I added up my biggest, just off the top of my head, adding up my 5 biggest fish total in Long Beach, I think I'm at 27, and that's all the trips put together.
Bro,
that's not one day.
It was the most insane day fishing ever. And it wasn't even like the day of fishing. It was just like the most insane fishing event, like episode. 45 minutes, actually. It was just like,
dude.
It was like half hour into the tournament. We get to the first spot, and we have some A rigs that I actually made up. They weren't PK rigs. They were just regular 5-arm A rigs. And they're on some little swim baits that I poured, and hook a couple small fish, and then hook like an 8+ sand bass. And I'm like, Randy, here, take the A rig. He puts the A rig on, like first, second pass, 2 5s on
all
2
together.
And then we're fishing. I catch a couple of squeakers or whatever. And then bam, he catches, and he's like, oh my God, I'm on. He can't turn the handle on his Cranks 400. He couldn't move the power handle. He's like, I'm like, dude, turn the handle. He's like, I can't. And he's fit, dude. He's a buff dude. He can turn the handle. But when the A-rig came in, it came in with an 8+ sand bass on it, and I think a couple other smaller fish. And one of the arms was just ripped completely off. So he had like 2 giants on, and but we had like 2 8+ pounders, and then 2 5s, 2 5+ pounders, and then we had another keeper fish. And that was
this comment from Matt makes me laugh so hard. Just the text from like the live well in like the morning or something, like I just know that Matt's just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Because Luke and Charly will do that to me all the time.
We had that huge bag, and like we fished for the rest of the tournament another 6-8 hours, and we couldn't not upgrade anything in that bag. Really just like trying to take care of those fish and making sure
just like keep that pump working.
Yeah. But I mean, we tried to cull something out. I think we ended up culling like the small one only for maybe a pound upgrade or something. But I mean, we had it won like within the first 30 minutes of the tournament. It was pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
Well, the night
wild.
the night me and Luke caught the 8-pounders, we probably had a 28-pound bag, right?
But that wasn't in the harbor.
No, of course, but still.
But
Dude.
Yeah, and that's still a crazy bag to begin with.
Randy and Dino hold the all-time bag. I don't know if he's listening or can chime the exact number, but I know it's like
he talked about it on here.
Yeah, like 32 or 34 pounds or something.
He's on here. He'll answer it.
Insane.
And that one's still holding to this day. A lot of big fish have been caught since, but no one can put that many big ones together. Those are some
I just hope to catch one. I don't need a bag. Just one.
You got to fish. You got to fish first.
Fish.
I know.
I know.
It's
like, it's such an amazing feeling to catch a big one like that. But man, when you catch one in a tournament, it's like
it makes
like out of body experience. Like it's like you don't even know how to explain it. Like, how is it all aligning this good for us today? Like,
yeah,
like we've gone, and it's just like a random day. It's not like a day we've planned. Okay, it looks good that day. We're gonna do it. It's like, no, tournament's on this day. You just have to go, show up, and start fishing. And it's like you just pull a bag like that together on a random day. It's like it's pretty special feeling. It's something I recommend if like you like fishing, you should try it because you never know what's gonna happen. Everyone catches a big one.
Now, do you pre-fish? Because I know some people are saying just how difficult it is to potentially pre-fish due to the amount of variables. So even, with your answer, to not pre-fish and then have everything line up like that as well.
Yeah.
You guys take first place?
We got first place and I think big fish on that one.
And that was big fish of the year also?
That wasn't, not that one.
When the universe aligns for you, nobody else can take it, man. It's just, that's how it is,
Yeah.
Like, that day was meant for you guys to get that bag, and that day was meant for you guys to win this tournament.
Yeah. I got to give a little credit, though, to Justin Huron, because one of the previous tournaments in that same spot, they caught big fish, the big fish of that tournament. It was a sand bass, and he told us to go to that spot, so I just got to shout him out that he gave us that spot. Ended up being the magic spot.
Matt just commented.
Yeah, a 38-pound bag for his tournament.
No, he said a 38-pound bag beat it.
A 38 secret.
What? No, that's fake news. They got the big bag, bro.
I agree with that. I like that.
I like
38.
We've gone almost 20 minutes past. Take us out, Charlie.
That's because that's just how good it was.
No, but Sky, thanks for hopping on with us, man. We appreciate you for hopping on. We didn't even get to talk about a lot of stuff, so this will be another episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank you guys.
We're gonna have to do one with Randy, maybe in the HQ, and really dive into some.
We'll have to do some food fish tales.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's do it. I'm down, man.
That'd be fun.
We could probably do one at the shop. That would be pretty cool. A little live interview at the shop wouldn't hurt. But guys, don't forget tackle meet this weekend. Stop by, get some stuff. If you guys are open door. You guys are open door too, Skyler?
Not yet. We're still in the process. We're getting close.
So make sure you guys stop by. Later, Nick. Daniel's going to be there selling his baits. Luke's going to have a booth. Daniel's going to be Waterman's Collective, tackle supply. Sorry. But
Salty
check
Bastards.
out my canvases. Salty Bastards going to be there. And
it's going to be a riot.
It's going to be a fun time, guys.
But hey, Sky, we got to collab on one of these.
Yes, let's do it.
Be pretty sick. But guys, thank you guys. What happened, Daniel?
No, I'm just saying I'm getting ready. I thought you've been.
Thank you guys.
You've been edging this whole time.
What fuels it all is our love for fishing, and that's what we do. Peace.
Love you guys.
guys.
See you next Tuesday.
Yeah.